What is up, scoundrels? It is your man Clash here, coming to you with a new video on my first love clones, specifically on defense. This is not a faction review. This is meant to give you some insight into some crafting that we've been doing over the past few weeks, given their reworks, with two key takeaways. Before we get into that, I've got to give a quick shout out and say thank you so much to the patrons for the appreciation and support you have provided the channel. First thing you need to know, SHAAK is not the best leader. On defense. On offense, she's great. On defense, Rex is a boss, and for many reasons. This is just one little snippet of some spreadsheeting we've done based on testing that's been done with a comp that we're going to go into much more in detail here in a minute. But first, back to the original point, SHAAK on defense. Yes, she can be effective if you don't know what you're doing and can catch people off guard, or if they're trying to use something that we'll say is just more cute than anything and it's not really an effective counter. In general, though, Rex is going to be much more effective on defense, and for a couple of reasons. You can see here I've got the bugs that I'm using on this. Bugs chew through 5s pretty easily, and of course you've got the powerful one-hit wonder, the Geo Spy as well, which I think really helps out. Now, of course, we could probably have guessed that Jedi Knight Revan would get through this, but we got to be thorough. We got to test as many things as we possibly can, and that's how you come up with good crafts. And you also have to know what doesn't work. I told you in my last video that we cannot nest the reworked clones, and my buddy Indigo, if you're watching, he put out a video showing that you could basically solo it with nest against the SHAAK lead, and I took a screenshot of this being dodged because I think that probably would have hit Nest for about 1 million damage and she wouldn't have got out. I think it was very lucky. So not so fast, my friend, because I went and tested this against SHAAK many times, and I changed mods and I moved things up and down, and I tried every which way to get Nest to be able to come through with a victory, and I just could not make it happen. Kill 5s first, kill 5s last. It did not matter. I could not get through it, and I really couldn't get through if it was using a Rex lead. Rex lead, obviously, with the turn meter gains and the health stacking that it had, or the benefit from health that he gives, very challenging, and especially challenging against this comp that you see me testing right here, which includes Barriss and R2, and that is the one that I did the most testing on for defense because it really ended up being something that was pretty effective. Not only could I, of course, not nest it, I couldn't allot it. And so again, you can kind of go and see this. I actually have this screenshot posted on the Galactic Republic Discord. I'll put that in the link in the description below as well, just so you can see how many different things I tried and what worked and what didn't work. But let's look at some of the reasons I like this. If you want it more in depth, I would say pause this video right here and read through. You don't have to go through every different aspect of it, but there's a lot of synergy between all of them, not just from the healing that Zerus does and of course the stat bonus that the droid gives R2. It all works really well from a cleansing perspective, as well as the smoke screen, meaning it's really hard to get to Zerus. It's very much like the old hide your DN comp that we had back in the day. Now I'm going through some of the mods so you can kind of just see what I have. They're not great mods. These are mods that I think I just kind of had on them. In fact, I think most of them are pretty obvious in terms of what you would want. Speed on Rex, offense on Echo, health on Barriss, R2. I've changed since this video, or since I took this video, but I had something like random on him. I don't even know why he had what he had. 5s is the one you're going to want to pay the most attention to, because if you've got the ZETA, that allows him to basically give his stats to the other 501 or the 501st clone troopers. It's really important. So this is what I had before Gear 13, and I try to balance things out, both health, speed, protection. I ended up giving a little bit more speed afterward. I got him up to 250 speed once I got him to Gear 13. But you can see it's a pretty healthy mix. The one thing, and I know some people really like it, some people don't, I don't think defense is as important as others do. It's not a stat that he shares whenever he does eventually die, if one of the other clones dies. So I prefer just to benefit from the physical survivability at 60% without having any defense primaries. Really important to me. This is a little bit of a slide on why I mod the way I do. In fact, again, another slide you can kind of pause if you want and kind of read through what I've done. But the important thing to know is he is not easy to go through, and you force your opponent a really challenging decision whenever you have his Zeta, especially on defense. Do I go ahead and just have him die by killing Rex and turn them into nightmare maniacs? Or do I try to get through him first and risk having Rex, hit me in the face with his aerial assault? And again, on defense, this is really important. A lot of people were saying, well, I don't like it on offense because, I could lose my 5s and then I don't get max banners. And my point is, on defense, a lot of times all you need them to do is miss one turn. And if they do that by trying to get through 5s and getting their person killed, or maybe they just decide that they do want to kill Rex, it is not going to be easy to get around this comp on defense. You can see all the different things that I've been trying here, and there's a lot of things that just do not work that would normally work in other situations. I thought that Jedi training Rey would work, but she's got to go in with like no droids because Echo keeps them stunned dang near the whole time. I even tried some of the more meta things like CLS. I tried SHAAK T. I tried General Grievous. General Grievous can work, but it is ugly. It is a banner nightmare. All the droids end up being stunned all the time because of Echo. And, honestly, it's just, there's not an easy way to get through this with anything close to max banners or without having to go at it again. A couple of things that did work, some of them might be obvious, but Traya works. Traya works, but not well. I'm going to explain to you a couple of reasons why it doesn't work well. And maybe if I'd have played this differently, it would. But I was expecting that if I had him isolated, 5s that is, I could get rid of Rex, and it wouldn't be a problem. I especially thought I could get rid of him if I wasn't killing him by damage, just by killing through Annihilate. That does not work. The Zeta will work through anything, basically. And so now, I made this mistake. Luckily, it wasn't in Grand Arena, but if I had, it would have been very ugly. It does work, and I did win, but now all of a sudden, Rex is going to be getting all this crazy turn meter, and he starts basically picking people off one by one. He's got way too much health and protection and speed to take down easily, and I couldn't get another Annihilate off on the guy. It took me almost the full battle to be able to get through them, and it was not something I would have been super happy about if it was Grand Arena. So now let's talk about another one that worked pretty well. Master Scoundrels. This one, as you probably know, is going to be Kira Lead, Hermit Yoda, Nest, L3, and Vandor Chewbacca. This works really well in a lot of different ways. It works against this comp with SHAAK T, it works against Rex Lead, it works against the bugs, it works against there's countless great comps out there that this can get through, and the reason it does really well is that it exploits the never-ending revive that Vandor Chewbacca can have, given that he's always prepared because he's always buffed through Master's Training. So I got this to work, and I even got it to work that was when it was really under geared. Alright, the last one that I will show you is the CARTH Old Republic squad. This worked really well with either Nest or Wampa as a 5th. I got this to be pretty consistent after a while against this comp specifically. I don't know if it'd do the same against maybe some of the others. I didn't do as much testing on it, but anyway, I was very surprised by it. So there you have it. This is your key takeaways from the defense clones that I'm going to be very comfortable using going forward. If you have any questions, hit us up in the Scoundrel Discord below. I'll see you all next video.